यशोमतिनन्दन व्रजवरुणागर गोकुलरञ्जनकाना यशोमतिनन्दन गोपीपरानधन मदन मनोहर गोपीपरानधन गोपीपरानधन मदन मनोहर कालिया दमन विधान कालिया कालिया दमन विधान कालिया अमला हरि नाम मिया विलासा विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर बोरा विपिन पुरंदर वंशी वदन सुवासा वंशी वदन सुवासा वंशी वदन व्रज जनपालन असुर कुलनाशन व्रज जन नंद गोधन रखवाला गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर गोविंद सुंदर नंद गोपाला सुंदर जमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हरा जमुना तट जमुना तट चर गोपी वसन हरा जमुना रास रसिका कृपा मोया श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावनो नटवरा भक्ति विनोदाश्रया भक्ति विनोदाश्रया भक्ति यशोमति नंदन व्रजवरुणागर यशोमति नंदन यशोमति नंदन व्रजवरुणागर गोकुलरञ्जनकाना गोपीपरानधन मदन मनोहर गोपीपरानधन मदन मनोहर कालिया दमन विधान कालिया दमन विधान हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Radha Madan Mohan ki jai. So what to do? Watching, okay. Oh yeah, where's my bag? That's okay.
The headphone?
Okay, so I'm going to discuss something. Also answer in between? Can they also speak in between if I ask questions?
They will be, not on the internet.
Achha, but it will be heard here.
It will be heard, yeah.
Okay. Chalo. Let's start do my work. Okay, so I think I need some audience. Okay, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so this is Vedic Revival College and Research Center. I have opened this college. It's going to open in Kurukshetra. And the aims and objectives of this college is to teach and preserve Vedic scriptures, Upanishads, Puranas, Itihas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, other Vaishnav traditions, and music, arts, drama, science, all from Vedic scriptures. That's the aim of this college. Srila Prabhupada wanted a college which can preserve Vedic knowledge, and that's what this college is about. So this is dedicated to Srila Prabhupada, and I am Dr. Keshav Anand. So I did MBBS. I think I should introduce myself, no?
Yeah.
So I did MBBS from Manipal Medical College, Kasturba Medical College, and then I joined as a full-time. So I've been serving this mission since last 18 years, and I'm a disciple of Bhakti Vikasa, His Holiness Bhakti Vikasa Swami, and going to present a seminar on core concepts of devotional service. And definitely, I can't finish this, that's for sure. So we have a next sequel to this on Saturday. Same time, same place. You can log on to the net for that. Okay, so what's this core concepts of devotional service doing here? What's this? Well, I'm going to tell you some concepts in devotional service which are indispensable, without which we can't advance in spiritual life. And these concepts I have not cooked up, it's not my speculation. It is all found in books of Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas, Bhaktivedanta, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vikasa 𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗲 Swami, all these core concepts. But these core concepts will help you to remember the concepts in a sutra form, in small aphorisms, like, which will help you to always contemplate on them and advance in devotional life. But before I start this seminar, let me just quote one quotation. And this is the quotation for that. There are 8 concepts, but okay, fine. This is a quotation, and I'll just discuss about them because in previous seminars I didn't discuss, but I'll just go into details. So Prabhupada said, Nectar of Instruction, preface, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. A follower of Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. So Prabhupada is informing us that to become a perfect Goswami, a follower of Krishna consciousness should become a perfect Goswami. That means he is, in this statement, assuming that people are following Krishna consciousness. This statement is not for people who are not following Krishna consciousness. And the idea is, Prabhupada is saying, they should become perfect. But how to become perfect? Attitude of the follower. Everything depends on the attitude of the follower. That's the idea. Now the question is, what do we mean by the attitude? That's another question. But before that, let me just quickly tell you a small story like. So I often quote this like, so we had 3 friends who were building a temple, and they made a temple. They were very best friends, they shared everything, but one fine day they were standing on the roof, they fell down and died. That's all. And one of them went to hell, another heaven, and another spiritual world. And this person who went to spiritual world, he asked Krishna, why did my friends go to hell and heaven? So Krishna told, well, the point was all of you were making temple, but one person was a hypocrite, cheater. He wanted money and cheat devotees, so he went to hell, he did offense. Another person who was building temple, he was taking construction of temple as a pious activity, that's all. Good thing, so he went to good place. But you were doing for pleasing me. So what's the difference between all of these 3? Actions were same, everything was same, but the difference was internal. Attitude of the follower. So you get the idea what's attitude. It's not action, it is something behind the action. So, okay, fine. Let me ask you, what do you mean by attitude? How do you define attitude? Can anybody do that? What do you mean by attitude? Now we get a sense of attitude, but what do we mean by attitude? That's our question. Is there any answer to this? So, yeah, maybe people who are hearing. I don't know how to speak, but okay, there are a few people here, so fine. I'm just asking a question. What do you mean by the attitude of the follower? Prabhupada says here, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude. Prabhupada never says advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on chanting of holy name. He didn't say this. Did he do a mistake? No. He knew what he's talking about. Actually, this is not the only statement. In Nectar of Devotion, he speaks. The secret to key of success, secret to success, the key is attitude. Prabhupada says there. In many lectures, he has said this. So the point is, Prabhupada didn't make a mistake. He didn't tell the advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on making temple, on book distribution. He means advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude behind the chanting, behind the book distribution, behind making temples. All these things are necessary, but your advancement will depend on how you're doing these things. That's the idea. Okay, how do you define attitude? Is there any definition for attitude here? Anything? Anybody can tell anything? Yeah, just tell me something because.
It's the mood of doing the activity.
Mood you can say.
What's the result behind it? What is your intention?
Yeah, intention you can say. Okay, fine. Attitude means intention or the mood. Mood is, I mean to say, mood is a very ambiguous term. Intention you can take. So what do you mean by intention? Question is, what do you mean by intention? This is a synonym. This is not the insight into this word. So how do you define attitude? How do you mean? What do you, okay fine, my attitude, his attitude. You know why I'm asking this question? I'll tell you why I'm asking this question. Because many times we confuse attitude with thoughts, with feelings. But they are very different things. So, yeah.
Maybe attitude is more to do with how we are internalizing a particular activity or thought to some extent.
Yeah. Yeah, to some extent. You're right. Is there anybody who can give precise insight into this? And this is very important. I'll come to this point, why this is very important. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
In Sanskritam or Sanskrit, bhavam is the word for attitude.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No.
Bhavam,
It's all
bhavam,
okay, fine.
bhavam.
I accepted bhavam, but there's one.
Bhavam.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Bhav.
Attitude.
Yeah, you can say bhav. Yeah, but why I'm asking the meaning, not the Sanskrit word. You got my point? That's okay. I accept the meaning. What's the meaning of this? And I'll tell you why this is very important. Yeah.
I was thinking, is it the reason behind why we do something?
Okay, fine. Now you got this point, little bit to the point. Yeah. Attitude is the reason why we are doing that. The question why. Okay. So I'll give you an example. That's okay. This is the example. We have this knife, and a person comes with a knife in your house, and he wants to kill you. So his action is, whatever, he can do like this and do like that, whatever he wants. His feelings is hatred, envy, no? That's feelings. Thought is, how should I catch this person? How should I kill him, He will react, I will react this way, whatever he's planning, his thoughts at that point of time. But his intention and attitude is, he's a terrorist. His whole attitude to entire world, to all people is, they are wrong. They have to be killed because they don't surrender to God, whatever. Or we have to, whatever, terrorists like that. So, attitude basically means worldview, his way of seeing the things. And this is synonymous with intention. So, there's a difference between attitude, thoughts, feelings, and actions. And this in Sanskrit is called cheshta. The word is cheshta. It is also called bhav, or it's also called sankalp. So Jiva Goswami in Nectar of Devotion, he names this word attitude as cheshta. Krishna in Bhagavatam, he says sankalpam. The sankalp, what sankalp you have. And it's also called bhav in higher levels. So why I'm talking about this is because sadhana bhakti, we are doing sadhana bhakti, that is defined by Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion as cheshta bhakti. Sadhana bhakti is to do with cheshta. That's another word given by Jiva Goswami if you read commentary to Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Devotion. So what is sadhana? Sadhana has to do everything with attitude. That's all. Because attitude forms the base of thoughts, feelings and actions. That is the fountain from where all thoughts, feelings and actions proceed. And this cheshta, this attitude in higher levels will change into bhav. But bhav will come at the level of feelings, mostly. So there's a difference between intentions and feelings. You got my point? Bhav is more of feelings. But here we are going more deeper. Cheshta. So always remember, if somebody asks you what is a synonym for sadhana bhakti, cheshta bhakti. So, and what is cheshta? Intentions. So that is why it is very important to know intentions. Just like, for example, many devotees are there in the temple. Sometimes we fight, or many times we fight. So why? Because we focus on actions, feelings and thoughts. But we should be focusing on intentions. A person may be doing wrong action, he might be thinking wrong, but if his intentions are good, we can excuse them. Just like a child. Child may act wild here, might be thinking something nonsense, but we know his intentions are okay, He has no intentions to mess up this place, like his intentions are like, okay, childish. So we forgive him, isn't it? It's like that. So sometimes unconsciously we act according to intentions. Sometimes we don't. And that's where there are fights. So Krishna says in so there's a whole chapter devoted to this sankalp. In Garud Puran, Krishna says fools focus on actions, feelings and thoughts. Wise go deep within and focus on intentions. I'll give you one example. Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur, when he was in Gaudiya Math, I think in Calcutta he was there, in Gaudiya Math. So one boy used to come to that math. And he used to come and he used to come in the evening and play cricket in that angan. And then he used to play cricket and then that's all. Next day he used to eat prasadam and go back. Attend Aarti morning and go back to school, whatever, to his house. So these people who were in Gaudiya Math, they were like foolish, they were like stupid people. Most of them at that time. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, okay. So these people, they told Bhaktivedanta, well, they did a meeting within themselves. They thought, this boy is nonsense. He's coming daily, he's playing cricket, get him in the morning, eating prasad, and going, like no service, nothing. We should stop him. So this complaint went to Bhaktisiddhanta. And Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, well, he called the boy. He asked him, why you are coming to temple? Attitude means why. You got that? He was saying why. If you want to understand the attitude or intentions, ask why. Always. Don't ask what. So, why? And that, you know what that child told? That he told Bhaktivedanta Thakur that I am coming to temple because I like morning Mangal Aarti. And I don't want to miss that. So Bhaktivedanta told, you see, no matter he's playing, no matter he's eating prasad, but he has this cheshta, small spark of cheshta, that he wants to come and attend Mangal Aarti. Let him come. You got that point? So Prabhupada was focusing on the attitude. That's why he could encourage hippies. They were complete nonsense. Prabhupada's godbrother, they came to England and they went back and they told Bhaktivedanta it's not possible to preach. Because everybody is nonsense. Drugs and so many things. But Prabhupada didn't focus on attitude, feelings and thoughts. Prabhupada focused on intentions. Whoever came to him, they had a spark to understand God. The intention was to understand God. That's why he gave them mercy. Krishna sees intentions. If Krishna would avoid seeing intentions and he focuses on our thoughts, feelings and actions, we would be in hell now. No wonder. Because we are thinking nonsense all the time. Is it? We are doing nonsense many times. Our feelings are messed up. We are hatred, envy. So the question is, how we are here in this temple? By our efforts? No, if Krishna doesn't want, we can't be here. That's another illusion. So we are here, Krishna is keeping us with him. Why? In spite of everything we are doing wrong. Because our intentions. So we have to keep a track on our intentions and attitude. That's the core teaching of all acharyas. Okay. Another question, how to develop a proper attitude? That's okay. Now we understood what is attitude, okay, intentions. How to develop a proper attitude and intention? What to do? We understood proper attitude, but how to do that? How to keep our intentions proper? Of service attitude, okay, fine. How to keep that proper? Because many times they are not proper, no? Many times you don't want to serve, you want to enjoy, and then it goes up and down, no? So what to do? How to understand that? How to keep that? Any solutions?
Before that I have one, I'm still not very sure if I understood the difference between intention and thought. Because I was thinking intention is also one type of thought process.
I'll give you one
right?
example, thoughts. So we have a 10th offense, no? So what's the 10th offense? The 10th offense is holy name. To maintain materialistic attachment, even after knowing so much about subject matter, is it? So we all are doing offense or what? Because we all are attached, no? So we are thinking so many things in our mind, objects, and so many things lust. But still it's not offense, because Krishna is referring to attitude here. We might be thinking something wrong, but the intention is, I should not think. The intention is, oh, this is wrong. I should be serving God, but my mind is thinking something. So I have to stop it. Intention is, I don't like this material world. I want to serve Krishna, but my mind is out of my control. It is thinking nonsense. And that is the difference between thoughts and intentions. Got this point? That is why this 10th offense is not offense if our intentions are proper. It's not talking about thoughts to maintain materialistic attachment. That's at the level of intention. You got my point? So that's the idea. So we should never try to mess up with the intentions. That's the idea. Intention is to do with free will. Don't mess up with that. Don't choose to enjoy. Your mind might entice you by bad thoughts. Enjoy. But don't choose that. Because that's what Krishna is going to consider. That's what Krishna is going to consider. Okay, so that's clear. How to develop a proper attitude? What to do? What's the answer for that? Well, before that, this is the quotation. Prabhupada says, Mayapur, February 8, 1970. This is 1976. This is almost in the peak of ISKCON. And Prabhupada knows what he's talking. So he says, very cautiously and intelligently we have to make progress in spiritual life. Don't take it very insignificantly. You should be very much careful. Otherwise there's fall down. And once fall down means a gap of millions of years. Prabhupada says this. Prabhupada doesn't say, it is, if you are doing devotion, it is guaranteed that next life you will be born in Vaishnava family or human life. Nobody knows. That's a general thing. That's a general scenario. If you are doing devotion, you get next life, better birth, human life, Vaishnava family, but it's not guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed, no? Because the laws of nature are very complex. Nobody knows how they're working. Everything will be taken into account. Your devotion and your offenses. What do you do with that? So it's not guaranteed. Prabhupada says millions of years. You have got this human form of life to complete Krishna consciousness, but if you are not serious, then again a gap of millions of years. So what to do with this quotation of Prabhupada? You can delete that. You can say Prabhupada is saying other places, Krishna is very merciful and everything is okay. That's also said, but this is also said. So we have to harmonize both of them, no? We can't delete one quotation of Srila Prabhupada. That's the idea. So Prabhupada is trying to warn us that if we don't cautiously and intelligently progress in spiritual life, it will be very difficult. That's the idea. How to develop a proper attitude? It is by caution and intelligence. That's how we can develop a proper attitude. So, but what do we mean by caution and intelligence? That's the point. What are to be cautious of? That's the question. So, and what do we mean by intelligence? So, we have to be cautious. Caution means attentiveness, no? Attitude we can maintain by attentiveness. And attention we can get by enthusiasm and interest. That's the idea, no? If we don't have interest, we don't have attention. No? The subjects we were reading, we read, initially we read no attention, no? But when we start understanding the subject, we develop interest. More interest, more attention. That's how we did, like. So if in Krishna conscious we have to be attentive and cautious, we have to understand the subject, what we are doing. And why we are doing. And when we understand, then we develop interest. When we develop interest, we are cautious. We are attentive. That we can carry a proper attitude always. So, Prabhupada is saying cautious means we have to understand why. And intelligently means when we ask why, we will face many contradictions. Is it? There will be many unsolved questions. So intelligently you have to solve all those questions according, not by speculation, but by scriptures. And you have to find. Intelligence means you have to read scriptures and find answers to your why. Cautious means you are asking why. Intelligence means you are researching scriptures to find an answer to that why. And that is why Prabhupada uses these both words, cautious and intelligence. Prabhupada, we can't, Prabhupada is Acharya. That's, first we have to accept that. And Acharya means whatever he is writing, it is dictated to him by Krishna. That's what we accept like that. We take it like that. And if he is instructed by Krishna, whatever words he is using, it's not just an embellishment for English. It's not like that, no. It's cautiously and intelligence. Oh, this will be more English-wise. It will be more good. It doesn't do that. Every word has a meaning. What Prabhupada is using, because Prabhupada is thinking about scriptures and then translating into English. Is it? Prabhupada is doing like that. He's thinking verses and slokas, and then he's writing English of that. Many times, no? Just like Krishna conscious word, that is from a verse, Krishna bhavita mati. That's from Rupa Goswami verse. Krishna bhavna bhavita mati. From Pradhyavali. So, okay, fine, Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhupada uses two words, and the meaning of these two words we have to understand. And then we can progress in spiritual life, otherwise not. And by the way, in ISKCON people don't have this habit of cautiously and intelligently progressing in spiritual life. That's not the habit. Habit is to take things lightly. And that's what Prabhupada is warning us. Don't take it very insignificantly. Insignificantly means to take things lightly. Okay, chant, be happy. We have to be happy. No point. Yeah, we have to be happy in Krishna consciousness, but we have to be simultaneously very cautious. So happily cautious. Yeah, you have a question? Okay.
Regarding that slide.
Yeah. It's good to ask question. Yeah, fall down.
The slide says fall down means then again the gap will be millions of years.
Yeah.
But we also hear that in Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says to Arjun, declare it boldly that
my devotee never falls down. Yeah.
And my devotee never perishes.
Yeah.
How do we? So those are some, and also we can find elsewhere also similar quotes.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
How
I also
do we
accept
put these
that.
two together?
Krishna says, my devotee never fall down. We are not devotees. We are trying to be a devotee. That's how we put it. We are not devotees. We are trying to be devotee. If we come at the level of devotee, that means Prabhupada and all these associates, then we can never fall down. It's
No, Krishna is not saying that we don't fall down. He says that Krishna says, my devotee never perishes, even if it falls, even if...
so that is okay. Even if that your verse you are saying, that verse, 𝗙𝗲𝗪𝗃𝗪𝗃. Okay, fine. He never perishes. After millions of years, he'll again take up Krishna consciousness. No problem. He'll come back. But anyway, he will have a gap. That's all. So we lose the time. From Krishna's sides, we are assured, but we lose time, that's all. I mean to say, if you take admission in school, definitely you will get a degree. But if you keep on failing, you lose time. You are in second class for 10 years. That's okay. But that's your problem. But anyway, sometimes or the school will assure you'll get a degree. You can hang around for 10 years, no problem, but you'll get a degree. So that's the idea. So both things we have to harmonize like that. I think that's okay. So this is what we have to understand. Cautiously and intelligently. You got this point? So we have to read Prabhupada books very cautiously and intelligently. That's the idea. See, that's a point, in English we tend to miss things. And there are two Sanskrit words for this. Exactly what Prabhupada is using. Cautiously and intelligently. And I know which verse is this. So can you tell what verse Prabhupada is thinking when he's quoting this line? There is a particular verse for this. From Bhagavad Gita. Cautiously and intelligently. And there's a verse. Can anybody tell me? Can anybody think? This is how we read Prabhupada books. When you're reading Prabhupada books, you have to enter Prabhupada's mind and think what he's thinking. And then we can imbibe his mood. So, anyway, I think there's a book, Prem Vivarth. So it is written by Jagdanand Pandit. He's one of the associate of Mahaprabhu. Everybody knows him. So, he says, Gaura Gaura bole chalena. If you simply speak Gaura Gaura, only this will not work. Gaura Achar, Gaura Vichar. You have to accept his Vichar. Vichar means teachings. Gaura Achar means his actions. You have to imbibe his actions in your life. Then your Gaura will reach Gaura. Otherwise it's not going to reach. It will just be reaching your ears. So you have to see the whole picture. So we can replace Gaura by Prabhupada. Prabhupada chalena. Prabhupada Achar, Prabhupada Vichar. We have to get that. Otherwise we can speak Jai Srila Prabhupada, but then so many Prabhupada disciples fell down. Why? They were speaking Jai Srila Prabhupada. They were great, no doubt. But the point we are discussing is why they fell down. Because history might repeat itself, no? And history repeats. Those who do not learn from history, they will ruin their present. But those who learn from history, it is said, those who learn from history, they can not only take proper decisions in the present, they can plan for future. Because the hope for future lies in history. That's the idea. This is said by Confucius. His whole life was based on this one line. The hope for future lies in history. If we understand history, we will not make same mistakes. We don't do things. So that's why we have to read Prabhupada books very carefully. Okay, what is a verse Prabhupada has in his mind? Very cautiously and intelligently we have to make progress in spiritual life. This is a quiz for you all. Everybody has read Gita, but my point is think. We can keep on reading Gita, we can cram Gita, we can repeat Gita, but we have to think. If we don't think, we don't go deep. My whole aim and objective of this seminar is to make you think, that's all. I presented this seminar all over ISKCON, like in East Coast, so many ISKCON, I went ISKCON temples. Previously I was in San Diego, LA. They also presented this. LA I didn't do, but LA we didn't do. San Diego I did. So okay, fine. You can't get that answer? When I'll tell you that verse, you all know that verse. I'm pretty sure you know that verse. But my point is, we don't know how to connect the dots. And that matters, It doesn't matter how much data you have. It matters how you connect it. No? That is management. I mean to say, you have many people, but you can't connect people. You don't get work doing. That's the idea. Yeah, what's that verse? Try, no problem.
I was just thinking like Tesham Shatadi Yuktanam Bhajatam Pritipurvakam.
Maybe you are close to that verse, but that's not that. But that's okay. You try it. It's good to be wrong here. Because in front of Yamdut, if you're wrong, you're out. So it's good to be wrong here, no problem. No problem. Anyway, we're discussing. I'm not going to beat you. So, the verse is, you all know, you are very near to that, 10:8. What was that verse? Oh, I've told you, 10:8. 10 chapter 8th verse. Oh, you don't know that? Aham sarvas. Yeah. matta sarvam pravartate buddha bhava samanvita. So if you read Prabhupada's translation there, bhava samanvita, Prabhupada translates as with great attention. Bhava. Bhava he doesn't translates as feeling, because the word samanvita is there. With great attention. Okay, and buddha means intelligent. So bhava means caution, attention, and buddha means intelligent. Anybody who wants to advance in life, he has to buddha bhav samanvita. Prabhupada has that very verse in his mind. At least I can think that from my perspective. And he's putting that there. So I told you, every word Prabhupada is using, it's not uselessly. He's putting that, no? We can't dismiss any word of Prabhupada, because he's giving us as it is. That was the point of Srila Prabhupada, no? That's how we have to read Prabhupada books. Okay, fine. So I discussed about the attitude, okay. We have to have a proper attitude. How to have a proper attitude? With caution and intelligence. Now, what is intelligence? If you apply intelligence and if you read scriptures, you get 8 concepts. That's my point. I'm coming to that point. If you apply intelligence, if you ask why you are doing what you are doing, then if you read Prabhupada books very nicely, and Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you get 8 concepts. You can get more, but I got 8. If you keep on reading, you can get infinite. Who says that? But I got 8, and I kept 8 because 8 is a good number. 8 gopis, 8 Upanishads. So I thought 8 is a good thing. So these are the 8 concepts. You can keep this in mind. And well, this one you know. Trinadapi Sunichena. This everybody knows, no? Others you know? Anybody? Mostly might not have heard about these things. But I'll discuss all these things. Maybe today I'm not able to finish it, but we'll discuss on Saturday also. So please come on time on Saturday at 6 o'clock, so you don't miss things. But I'll discuss all these things. Okay, good. So the first concept is Amito Tomar, Tumi Tomar. I've added few things from before, but let's discuss. Okay, Amito Tomar, Tumi Tomar means I am yours and you are mine. This is where devotion begins. Now my question to you all is, what is the meaning of I am yours and you are mine? What's the meaning of this? It's understood, no? Everybody knows, Krishna, I am yours and you are mine. But what do we mean by that? That's the question. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by that? We many times come to Krishna and say, no, Krishna, I am yours and you are mine. But we have to understand what do we mean, what we are saying. So, Paying? Oh, you can speak in the mic. Yeah, that's okay. Everybody.
Being of service, is that it? Being of service.
Being of? Service. What does it mean? Being of service?
Service-minded, being service-minded.
Oh, service-minded, okay. Yeah, fine, that's okay. I'm asking, what do you mean by I am yours and you are mine? Fine, I can accept that, but what do I mean when I say I am yours? We all think like that, no? Krishna, I am yours and you are mine. We have to think, what do we mean by that ourselves? Okay, good. Yeah, you can say like that.
Or is it that we are part and parcel of Lord?
Okay, theoretically at least. I am yours means we are part and parcel of Lord. This is the constitutional answer for this. I want an active answer. That's okay.
I'm your servant, you my master.
Okay, good. Yeah, that pretty much summarizes that.
In the Markina Bhagavad Dharma poem, Srila Prabhupada tells like I am the doll and the puppet.
And you are
the puppeteer.
The puppeteer.
So
okay, fine.
Make me dance.
Fine, I accept that. But I want to go deeper than that. Because I know many times we assume things we know, but we don't know. So I'll tell you what I mean. Well, before that I'll tell. Okay. This is the meaning given by Acharyas. Madhvacharya, Yamunacharya, Lord Chaitanya. Madhvacharya says, I am yours means I am under your control. Servant. And you are mine means you are my controller. So that are the terms we should use. So servant and master, that's okay. But then I have to ask you, what is the attitude of that servant? That's the idea, no? So that answer is okay, but then we have to go deeper. Okay, attitude of the servant is Krishna, I am under control, you are my controller. Okay, let me ask you, what's the meaning of, when we say Krishna, I am under your control, what do we mean by that? We have to probe deeper.
My mind, body, and activities are controlled by you. Like actually, we are like independent, but still, like I want to be guided in such a way that it will be.
Okay, control means, we are saying Krishna, I am under your control means, I am under your decision. That's the idea, no? I am under your decision. Control means decision. It has to do with decision, no? So devotee is saying, Krishna, I am under your control means, what you decide, that's what I am going to do. I'm not going to decide my life by my own thing. You and your representatives, that's the idea. We accept your decision in our life. That means control. We accept your interference in our life. That means control, no? We want Krishna to interfere in our life. That means control. And you are the controller means, of course, you are the controller of my mind, body, intelligence, whatever I have, my 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶 also, my nature. You are the controller of my very nature. This is what 𝗙𝗶𝗶𝗃 says. 𝗙𝗲𝗃 𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀 𝗙𝗲𝗃. You are controller. You are controller of my free will. And because if you want, you can destroy my free will. He can do that anything. He can do anything. No, he can do impossible possible. But you choose to give me free will. That's another question. Why he gives us free will? That's another question. I'll not go into that. But that's what he has absolute control of everything. Okay, Yamunacharya goes little from a different angle. He says, I am yours means I depend on you. I depend on you. Now what that means, I depend on you? We many times say to Krishna, no, Krishna, we depend on you. What does that mean on that? What do we mean by that when we say to Krishna, I depend on you? So that means protection. Faith in protection of Lord. This is called dependence, no? 𝗙𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗔 𝗪𝗪𝗪. That's the idea. I have faith that if I surrender to you, you will take care. That faith, no? You will maintain. And you are mine means no one else except you is the right person to be dependent upon. That means you are mine. I will not be dependent on anybody else except you. This means you are mine. This is what Yamunacharya explains. But Lord Chaitanya comes and he not only summarizes all these things, but he gives the absolute conception of I am to Tumar, Tumi Tomar. That's why he's called the most merciful incarnation. And he says, I am yours means Krishna, exploit me. Yeah, 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀. If somebody thinks I have speculated, but I have not. Yeah. Exploit me. And this understanding of I am yours surpasses all previous understandings. So Madhvacharya says, control me. But that is something not really with love, you know. That the feeling of control me is, okay, control me, fine. But for what? The question here remains, for what? For what? Okay. Control me so that I can be happy, you know. Give me proper decisions. I can be happy. I can be well situated. No. That attitude might be there behind control me. You got my point? Depend on Krishna. Okay, for what? For his mercy, to be happy and well situated. But Mahaprabhu says no. We are not going to Krishna for our happiness and for peace. We are going to Krishna to serve him. In fact, we don't want happiness and peace. We don't want that. We want Krishna that you use us and throw us away. That's all. That is the highest conception, and that is why Mahaprabhu he is said to be Namo Mahavadanyaya. You know why? Because this kind of conception highest conception he is giving to lowest people. You can imagine? That is, scriptures are not unnecessarily telling him, Namo Mahavadanyaya. Mahaprabhu could have told, control me, that's all. Yes, so I mean to say, so when Madhva and Yamunacharya, they came, it was like how many years back? So Madhva came around, I think he came around 1300, 1200 AD, something like 700, 800 years back. And that time people were much evolved, and especially in India. And now people are so downtrodden, and Mahaprabhu comes with this message, exploit me. Who's going to understand that? Especially when exploit has a negative connotation, no? It's not a good word. And Mahaprabhu says, do that, that's all. So that is the most merciful Lord. He gives the highest conception to lowest people. You know why? Because, of course, he knows many people can't understand that. But then he also gives a rational basis to he also not only gives this conception, but he also gives a qualification to understand that conception by the books of his devotees, of Rupa Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta, Bhaktivedanta Thakur. They are trying to give us a qualification so that we can understand this very word, exploit me. So gopis went to Krishna, they told Krishna, exploit us. That's all. So we don't want you may give us mercy or not. You may give us happiness or peace or not. We don't care for that. You're using the very fact of using us, that is a mercy. That we perceive as mercy. The very fact you're thinking about us, that very fact is your mercy. It's such a nice conception, no? And you are mine means you are owner of my life. So controller is like something, Krishna, you are my controller, okay, fine. Today you are my controller, tomorrow I don't want to be under control. That can happen, no? And that happens, no? It happens in a life. If we think on this platform only controller, there can be problem. No one else except you I seek, okay, that we can change. But if you say, Krishna, you are owner of my life, we can't change because you can't change your life. Your life is with God. You can't choose. Yeah. You're sold. That's all. Finish. So previous conceptions, that attitude of being sold was not there. There was an option to leave him. But Mahaprabhu seals that option. No option. You're sold. That's all. You're with Krishna. That's all. Now you can't leave. So this is what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's explanation. I am yours and you are mine. Is it clear to everybody? Yeah.
Prabhu, these concepts on the right-hand side, those are some things I can understand, but what I am not able to understand is how that you are mine means these concepts. Because if I am yours means that I am under your control, you are mine cannot mean that you are my controller, right?
Well, Madhvacharya gives this concept of control and controller. So I am yours means I am under your control, you are mine means...
It will actually, by that grammar, it will mean that, okay, I mean, this concept I can understand, but I'm not able to relate that how you are mine means that you are my controller. It almost sounds, your mind almost sounds like that I am your controller, isn't it?
You are saying that. Okay.
You
are mine means, okay, fine, I got your point. You know what spiritual word is, material word is reflection of spiritual word. In material word, when we say you are mine, that means I am your controller. So spiritual word, you do everything ulta. In spiritual, when you say you are mine, that means you are my controller, because it is opposite. So Srila Prabhupada says in one of his lecture that if you want to understand Krishna, understand yourself. And if you want to understand yourself, understand Krishna. So whatever we think now in conditioned state, you just do it reverse, that's spiritual word. That's all. Simple. It's simple, very simple. So if you want to go near Krishna, it's sure that if you go near Krishna, you will not be near Krishna, that's all. Spiritual word, everything is ulta. If you want to be near Krishna, you have to be far away from him. That's why Mahaprabhu stood behind Garud's thumb in Jagannath Puri. No, we know that, no? He was standing far behind. Krishna accepts backbenchers, not people who sit in front. Well, not for you all. But the idea is consciousness. He accepts backbenchers. He doesn't accept People who want to come near to him, 𝗙𝗃𝗪𝗀𝗃, are out. If people who are back and they rely on mercy of God, accept me, okay, fine, that is nice. So you got that point? So the idea is different. So that was a good question. Okay, so this is Ami to Tumar, Tumi to Amar. And you might ask me, what's the evidence of this? Ami to Tumar, Tumi to Amar. No. I mean to say, whenever we say something, we have to give Shastric evidence. From which scriptures have you got this? I am yours and you are mine. Is it your speculation? You have cooked this. Madhvacharya, Amnacharya, they have cooked this. Somebody can ask this question, no? Shankara people will come and they argue. Your Madhva, Ramanuja, they are like, well, what they are saying, I am yours, you are mine. Everything is one. So, yeah. Anyway, so, is there any evidence? Yeah.
I guess thank you to make this slide. It's a very special one. So basically, regarding actually this point, so it sounds like this explanation based on different races, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to go in that, but yeah. No, you can say different rasas, but also this is the foundation of all rasas. All, even in Vrindavan, even who are in Shant Bhav, in Golok, this is the understanding, exploit me. So it's foundation of everything. This is Gopi Bhav. This is where we begin, exploit me. Okay, so what's the evidence? Can anybody tell? What is the evidence of I am yours and you are mine? Some Shankara people will definitely argue. Your Madhva he's speculating. Your Ramanacharya, they are speculating. Lord Chaitanya, he's not in the list because Shankaracharya says, Shankaracharya people, Mayavadi says, your Lord Chaitanya is actually a Mayavadi. Because he said, he revealed I am God. So internally he was thinking I am a Mayavadi. He knew. But because he knew that people can't understand, so he was preaching devotion. They say like that, many people, if you know. If you go to all Ramakrishna Mission, Chinmayanand, they know this. So they can argue, this concept we don't agree. Is there any evidence for that? I am yours and you are mine. And not from Bhagavatam, not from 𝗙𝗃𝗪𝗃, but from Bhagavad Gita. Let's stick to basics. So, because everybody has read Bhagavad Gita, and I want to ask you, from Bhagavad Gita, any verse you can think of? I am yours and you are mine. Any evidence for that? You have to talk in evidence, no? Otherwise things become bad. Yeah.
I guess it's maybe it's a second option. It's 1866 𝗙𝗹𝗹𝗀 𝗪𝗃𝗪𝗃. So
No. I want for entire thing. I am yours and you are mine. Yeah. That we can. Okay. Yeah.
9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says, Saham sarva bhuteshu name dvesho na priyaha.
Okay.
And then he says, I am a
friend to all, and okay, fine, I can accept that. Yeah, you're good in that. And you have that verse. Okay, speak that verse.
Shikshastika.
No, I want from Gita. Oh, Shikshastika we know.
Oh, Bhagavad Gita 9:22, Ananaschintayanta.
No, I am yours, you are mine. Where is that? Ananaschintayanta mamiya jana parivipasate.
I will preserve what you lack, and I will give.
But that's not exactly this, no? You can put that meaning, but it doesn't exactly comes there. Okay, so the verses, what acharyas refer to the verses, this. But anyway, before that, I'll just. Oh, actually, before that evidence, just keep it in mind. Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually summarizes all these things into one statement. That is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur was genius. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur summarizes in 4th chapter, 2nd verse. Amar ami to naat na rahinuar, ekhu na hoinu ami keval tumar. Beautiful. I no longer consider even myself to be mine. You are the owner of my life. You got my point? Oh Lord, now I have become exclusively yours. Exploit me. Got my point? So Bhaktivinoda Thakur could really enter the mind of Lord Chaitanya. That is why he is one of our acharya. We all accept him. And that is why his books are very important to read and understand. This is from the poem Sharanagati, that book. We have some songs in our ISKCON book. Oye Vaishnav Thakur and all these, they are from Sharanagati. But there are not many songs there, but you can go and have this book and read that and analyze that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, Tumi to Thakur, Tumara Kukur. That is there. But this is pretty much summarization of surrender. No longer belong to myself. Even myness is yours. Now my question is, why do we surrender to Lord? Why do you want to surrender to Lord? Any answer for that? Okay, why do we surrender to Krishna? Why we want to tell Krishna, I am yours and you are mine? Why? Krishna might ask you, it's good philosophy. I'm impressed. But now, you have to tell me, why do you want to tell this to me, first of all? He will ask reasons. When you go to spiritual world, there will be a counseling session for you all. There will be an interview. Krishna will be there, gopis will be there, they'll all interview you, And if you fail, okay, go back and read again and come back again. And that's what happens at the junction of spiritual world and material world, there's a junction. So there's all these things are there. Okay, so what do you say? Why do you want to surrender to Krishna? What are the reasons? Yeah. You can speak.
It's the nature of every living being. The nature of every living being
okay, I accept that.
It's more than a nature. The dharma of every living being is to serve.
Okay, I accept that. But probably have to qualify a little more.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
That's okay. What's this? Oh, yeah. What? Some demigods are speaking.
I'm continuing the Ramananda Prabhu's voice. Yeah, it's the same like Jiver Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. So as it says that the eternal function of the living entity is to serve.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Jivera Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. We all know that, yeah. But we want to maybe, okay, we are part and parcel of Krishna. It's a duty. But you have to add one more word there. Otherwise, this definition is not complete. One word is essential, which is implicit in this, that it is my duty, but I want to bring that word out so that we really understand what's, Yeah, it is implicit in constitutional position, but I want to bring that out. What's that word?
Unconditional love.
Okay, fine. I'll tell you. You all getting, but I'll tell you. Why do we surrender? But okay, this is one of the reasons why I surrender to God. Any other reason? Fine, Krishna will say, I accept this. Go forward. That's all you crammed in your classes and Chaitanya, but anything else? Krishna likes to enjoy. He'll enjoy with us. So, any other answer? I accept that, but I have to qualify that answer more. Any other answer? Why do we surrender to Krishna? What do you want to do? So that's same, no? We are Krishnas, we are part and parcel. That's okay. Any other answer? Why do you want to come to Krishna? You have to have many answers. Krishna says, whole life you have been surrendering to me and you don't know why. It seems a little funny. Why? Why do you want to come to Krishna? Why do you want to surrender to him? See,
because we can't separately.
I can't hear. Can you repeat?
Like we all want to enjoy, and that is sure that we can't enjoy apart from Krishna. It's like we have practical experience that we went through our life that it is just miserable.
Okay, yeah. We want to enjoy, but we can't enjoy without Krishna. But the problem with this answer is okay. But the problem with this answer is it seems as if we are going to Krishna for our enjoyment. The problem with this, Krishna can argue back. Also, you want to come to me?
Okay, yeah, we want to enjoy, but we can't enjoy without Krishna. But hello, the problem with this answer is okay, but
so many demigods. Yeah, so.
Hello. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, speak on. Yeah, Nilesh Prabhu, can you just speak on? I think people recognized you.
Yes, my understanding is it's for the pleasure of Krishna.
Okay, good. Yeah. This is one understanding, for the pleasure of Krishna. Fine. So Krishna asks you to go in more details of this answer. He wants you to. He accepts you. There's some grades given, but he wants some ornamentation to this answer. We accept it.
So Krishna asks you to go in more details of this answer. He wants you to. He accepts there's some grades given.
Yeah, he can speak.
I was thinking that
Yeah, you can tell.
Each one of us is unique and is supposed to serve Krishna in one particular way. And actually, Krishna is devoid of that service.
It's a very far-fetched answer, no? I think that may be okay, but Krishna can argue back for that. Krishna can argue back that, okay, you're thinking that we had some service and Krishna is devoid of that service. Krishna can say, well, you get lost, I'll depute somebody else in that service. There are so many people there. He can say, it's up to him. He's autocrat. He can do anything. So from our perspective, we can't really think all these things, no? Because if we think he's devoid in the service and Krishna says, my God, well, you're important? Yeah. That's not a good thought. So, okay, fine. Why do we surrender to Krishna? This is a good question, no? This is a very simple thing, but very important question. And we have to think about these things. So, this is the answer for that. Okay. The first answer is to become pure. But the point is, I put it in gray because we don't go to Krishna to become pure. That's our self-interest, no? We go to Krishna, we become pure ourselves. That's okay. You put fire to hand, it will burn. You put water to hand, it will wet. You put Krishna in your life, we become pure. No problem. But the point is, it's our duty and that is unavoidable. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔𝗔 means, that constitution, that means you don't have any option. That's what's the point I was trying to get. If Krishna asks you, why would I want to serve him? We say, Krishna, is there any other option? You tell me. you can put a back question to him. Krishna says, oh yeah, you're right. There's no option except me. So this answer I'm not giving. So there was one big alvar in South India, and his name was 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪 alvar. Krishna asked him, why do you want to serve him? And he said, no option. And this is perfect answer. So Krishna will get trapped in that answer, You have to know how to talk with Krishna, no? If you don't know how to talk with Krishna, you're not going there, that's all. Because Krishna will talk to you, and when Krishna talks to you, you have to get trained with that. And he's expert in talking. If you read pastimes of Krishna with gopis, he's expert. He argues and counter-argues, no? You have seen, no? So that pastime is not for fun. Like gopis say to Krishna something, Krishna argues back, no? And then gopis say something. That Krishna is showing us, see, this is what happens in Golok, so be ready, for that. You have to prepare. Okay, next is, to surrender is not the goal, it is a need. It is a need of soul. Bhaktivinoda Thakur announced that. If you put something as goal, okay, fine, career is a goal, but eating is a need. It's not a goal, no? So to surrender is must. We cannot live without surrender. Got my point? It is a need of soul. That's all. Just like eating is need of body, surrender is need of soul. And we surrender because we come to Krishna for Krishna's sake, to give enjoyment to him. That's what he was saying, to give pleasure to Krishna, to give enjoyment to him. But how to give pleasure to Krishna? To fulfill his missions and not a plan. That's okay. To give him, not to take. We don't come to Krishna to take prasad, to take holy name. We are taking everything, no? We take holy name, we take prasad, we take garlands, we take lecture, we take everything. But what we give? The idea is not to take. And the idea is not to only become satisfied in taking. The idea is to take in order to give back. That's the idea. Even if we are taking, the idea is to give back. So we are coming to Krishna. Krishna asks, why have you come here? Do you want my mercy? No, Krishna, we have not come here to take, but we are to give you something. What do you want? That's the idea. So, and to reciprocate with Lord's mercy. So Krishna has mercifully given us so many things, no? Even before we were devotees, he was giving us and he will give us a body, our intelligence, sun, moon, everything. So how do you repay him? So why we come to you? Because Krishna, we are indebted. So we are indebted to you, and we want to repay the loan which you gave us in form of our body, our life, That's why we have come to you. That makes sense, no? It's so... And to glorify Lord, not exactly to pray to Him. Don't go to Krishna just to pray. That's what everybody thinks, no? But sometimes you have to forget prayers in order to glorify Him, no? Because if you're praying, you're thinking of yourself. Is it? If you're praying, you're always thinking of yourself. Krishna, purify me, engage me in your service. That's perfect. But in order to make this prayer spontaneous, you should glorify Him. If you glorify Him, you can pray much better than if you only pray to Him. Got my point? If you glorify Him, you can see your position much better rather than just seeing yourself and praying yourself. Because when you glorify Krishna, then when we face Krishna face to face and we experience His awe, His greatness, we feel nothing in front of that, no? And when we feel nothing, then prayers come from the heart, no? So, if you want to really pray, glorify Him. Prayers will come automatically. But if you only pray and not glorify Him, glorification is gone and prayers will also go after some time. That will happen. And that is why Prabhupada says, no? What is a prayer while chanting Hare Krishna? Krishna, engage me in your service. And then Prabhupada says, this should be like a child's cry for the mother. Prabhupada says that. Now question is, how to make it child's cry for the mother? How to do that? That's okay, but how to do that? We can't do artificially, no? We can't artificially become a child. The mother is mother for a child, no? So how to do that? The idea to do that is to glorify Krishna, to become attached to Him. And then you can be like a child for a mother, no? Child is attached to mother, that's why he's like a child. So that's the idea. And last point that's important, we surrender to Krishna not to hurt Krishna. That's the idea. So devotion is not just to please Him, devotion is also not to do things which will hurt Him. That is why I asked, you have to qualify something, no?
Can you explain that? Hurt Krishna.
Hurt Krishna means if we fall down in devotional service, it will hurt Krishna. It will hurt us, but more than us, it will hurt Krishna. So when we fall down, we are not depressed because we are not sad because we fell down. We are sad because Krishna felt sad that we fell down. And that will give us encouragement to come up. And that's why Krishna told Uddhav, when my devotee falls down, he feels guilty, of course, but he should not be sad. He should enthusiastically come up. How to do that? Because the only inspiring factor to get up again is that, oh, my Krishna will be hurt. So just like these fighters in the fight, so when they're fighting on the horse and he falls down, and then he again gets up because he thinks about his country. Oh, my country, people, what will happen to people of my country? I'll get up, no? But in a mock fight, he'll not be able to do that because he's hurt. Okay, that's it, finish. You can't do that because that inspiration is not there. So the inspiration is not to hurt Krishna. That's the idea. Sometimes Krishna allows us to fall down, no? He also allows us to fall down. So Madhvacharya, he prays. This prayer is very deep. So he quotes from Rig Veda, and Rig Veda there is a prayer, and they're praying to God. God, if you make us fall down, you make us fall down in a way which will please you. Now what do you mean by that? Does Krishna make us fall down? Or we fall down due to our own mistakes? No? We can't say Krishna made us fall down. I mean to say we were stupid, that's why we fall down. But the point is, Krishna could have stopped that, no? He's in full control, no? That's what we had. He could have stopped our fall down, but he didn't do. He allowed us to fall down. To make us realize two things. First, to give us warning that you need to work more. Is it? Because if we don't fall down, then we don't work. We don't know where we are, no? And also to see how much we are hurt when Krishna is hurt. to see that. Krishna allows us to fall down. Because when a devotee falls down, he thinks, oh, Krishna will be sad. And Krishna wants to see that, whether he is identifying with my sadness or not. Because that is the perfection of life. That is love, to identify with Krishna. This is quite deep, but it is like that. So this is, Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, anybody who understands to give pleasure to Krishna, that's the starting of devotion. And the end of devotion will be when you understand you are not to hurt Krishna. That's the end of devotion. So that means we are identifying with the pleasure of Krishna, we are identifying with the sorrow of Krishna. So I'll talk about this later in the core concepts. That point will come. This is a very important point. This is why we surrender. You got this? This makes sense? All of this? Probably we never thought about this, no? You know what? Is there any synonym for Maya? It's not a synonym. So what's the meaning of Maya? Can anybody tell me? But then you have to explain me what is that which is not. And that's I accept that's Bhagavatam. But what do you mean? Practically, what do you mean by that? You know what? Many times we know things theoretically. That's okay. But I want to understand practical, because you have to realize this. Okay, what's the practical understanding of this? Fine. Yeah. Oh, you have to speak in mic, yeah. I think you have to open it, yeah.
It's whatever you think don't connect it to Krishna, do not connect it to the Krishna, is the mind.
Okay, fine. Yeah, you can say whatever you think, it's not connected to Krishna.
It's separate from Krishna.
Can you give me one word? Illusion. Illusion is a metaphor. Illusion is it's a poetry. It's a synonym, no? Is it? I mean, then you have to define what's illusion. Illusion doesn't make clear, no? Like, what practical significance illusion? Is it a magical thing or what? Many connotations can be there, no, in illusion? Is it?
No.
That's okay, but I want a practical word for that.
Is it the idea that I can be without Krishna? I can manage without Krishna? That's the illusion I was thinking.
Yeah, okay, we can manage without Krishna. Fine. Why it is like that? Okay, I want one word, okay. I'll solve your problem.
Ignorance, andhakar.
Ignorance?
Andhakar, because
okay.
Krishna should just...
Yeah, ignorance you can say, but I would take it as a theoretical word. I want a practical
forgetfulness
word.
of Krishna, it can be mine.
One word. I accept all those things, but I will put in the category of theory, not practical, because a practical answer is that on which you can work. Practically. So if you say darkness and all this, then what do you do? You know, you understand my point? We want some scientific word for that, some objective word, so that I can immediately start doing action on that. Okay, this is the action plan. You do this and we solved.
Insincere.
Oh, demigods. Yeah.
Insincere.
Yeah, Prabhu, I can't. Can anybody? No, I can't hear. Can you repeat?
Insincere.
Acha, okay, fine. I got this word. Insincere?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be, but then you have to define what is sincerity, and then you have to define what is insincerity. It becomes more complex, no? What is sincerity? It's a big question. In this core concepts, I'll talk. This is a big, this is the entire point. What do we mean by sincerity?
Yes, maybe sincerity means you want to know the truth. And
No, that's okay. We'll talk. But the point is, the answer for Maya, if you say insincerity, then it brings up more questions. So I want a word which will not bring questions. That word I want. Okay, fine. I'll tell you what is Maya. And it is right there in Bhagavatam. You know, when Krishna says to Brahma, that verse, what is Maya? Rite artham yat pratiyete, na pratiyete cha atmani. Tad vidyad atmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha thama. 2nd canto, 9th chapter, Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Krishna says to Brahma, what is Maya? I'll summarize in 2 words. Yatha bhaso, yatha tamaha. So, yatha abhas. First word is abhas. Abhas means, you don't understand what is abhas in Sanskrit means? Abhas means anuman. So Maya means misconception. Oh, sorry. First Maya is assumption. Abhas means assumption, assuming, no? Abhas, mujhe aisa lagta hai. Assumption, assuming. That's the first word. What is Maya? That's what we were doing now, isn't it? I was trying to make this point. We are all in illusion. Because we assumed that we know what is surrender. But we didn't know. Okay? We assumed that we know why we are surrendering, but we didn't know. So, many things we assume, and we lead our life in assumption. And then finally we know, my God, we didn't know. Because we never introspected. We were busy in external things. No? There is something external, something internal. So these are all external. External doesn't mean superficial. External is also important. External word, you don't go by that. It is called bhaya sadhana, book distribution, chanting, temple, deities. It's all external sadhana. There is something called internal sadhana. That external sadhana is there to nurture our internal sadhana. That's what everything is designed for. You got my point? In Golok, nobody is chanting. Anybody chanting Hare Krishna? So, Golok, there is a temple? There is a book distribution? No. So then, why? Because, why it's not there? This means these all things are designed to take us to something else. You understand my point? So in Golok, nobody does that because they have reached to that platform. They have done their internal thing. So all these things are there to help us to internalize things, to realize, to get our attitude proper. These are important because without these things nothing can happen, first of all. Did you tell? Oh, I have a question here. Do you want me to continue till 8 o'clock because he can do Aarti, but should I continue? Everybody, that's okay? And what about demigods? We should continue or not? Okay, so I'll continue probably. Okay, fine. Yeah.
So you're telling like there is nobody chanting in Golokadham, but also we see like in Narottam Das Thakur's bhajan it is written like Golokara Premodhan Harinam Sankirtan. Also we see like our acharyas they used to chant.
By chanting I mean nobody is chanting in chanting way. They are singing Krishna. They are not like beads and chanting, no. And especially Srimati Radharani, even she doesn't need to always speak Hare Krishna. Even if she sees Krishna, that is how she worships him, no? It's something different. So we have to always remember, never forget our internal thing, internal sadhana. That is why people don't advance. And ISKCON is a very hustle-bustle life, no? Days pass by, months pass by, years pass by. And we never looked within what's happening inside us. We never cared about our attitude. And we assume things, no? That's what I was getting my point. That everything is okay inside. But it's not okay.
What do you mean by internal sadhana?
Attitude. That's what I'm talking about. Entire thing. Attitude. You have to get your attitude proper. Nurture your attitude. Nurture your understanding. Attitude is found by understanding. This is what I was telling. So, first word for Maya is assumption. Yatha bhaso. Second word is yatha tamaha. Yatha tamaha means from assumption comes misconceptions. Tama means darkness. You mistake light for darkness, darkness for light. So it's a mistake. So tama means ignorance, no? Ignorance. But Krishna defines ignorance in Bhagavad Gita as ignorance is that mode where you accept right for wrong, wrong for right. You read Bhagavad Gita? Ignorance is that platform. That is misconception. So the practical word for ignorance is misconception. So Maya means two things, assumption and misconception. These are perfect, no? Now you can get action plan. If you want to get rid of Maya, you have to get rid of two things, assumption and misconception. Simple, now you can work on this. If you say Maya is darkness, ignorance, then you know, but you don't know, you can't work on that. This is called, that's why Prabhupada said, Krishna Consciousness is science. This is science. Science means objective. Science means thak, I have to do this, I have to do that. That's why many times, because our definitions are not proper, we don't realize what to do. And I'm writing a dictionary actually. So I'm writing a Vaishnava. We were discussing, no? So this is one of the project. So I'm just halfway around for that. So I'm writing a Vaishnava dictionary where I'm defining the words so that devotees exactly know what this means. Theoretical definition, practical definition. Both will be there. And how to plan on that, how to do action. That will be great. So actually Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he wanted a Vaishnava dictionary. He had come up with a dictionary, Gaudiya Vaishnava Abhidhan, but they couldn't really make it comprehensive. That's required. So yeah. Now it's good, Maya, no? It makes sense, no? So if you have to get rid of assumption, what do? You have to get knowledge. Is it? And if you get rid of misconceptions, what you have to do? You have to get proper arguments. And then you get along. Okay, so this is about surrender. Okay, now the question is, there's one question. We heard so many things, why to surrender, our attitude should be proper, this is surrender, or everything is okay. But the problem is, how to imbibe all these points. These points are nice, but how to get it in our head? We can get it in a slide, but we have to get it in our head, and that's the idea. How to get this? How to realize them? We can understand them, but how to realize them? How to internalize them? What to do? What is the action plan? Any comments on that? Any answers for that? So everybody is understanding what I'm asking? This looks nice, but how to get it inside our heart? And that's the idea. This question will always be there with us. And it should be. How to get these things from that slide to in our heart? How to get Krishna from altar in our heart? This question will always be there. How to get holy name from our ears in our heart? If this question is not there, we are not advancing. That's all. Finish.
It's a purification process.
Okay, so what is a purification process?
Rendering devotion service.
But then I can ask
what goes on
is,
again.
But no. Precise. You know what? Achha, okay, it's a good answer. But you know what? I have one thing to tell. In ISKCON, all answers are categorized into two categories. One are specific answer and one are universal answers. So I'll put an universal answer. This is an answer for all questions. Isn't it? So Prabhu, how do I advance? Chant Hare Krishna. How do I understand Gita? Chant Hare Krishna. What should I do for Prabhupada? Chant Hare Krishna. So this is some universal answers. It can fit everybody, everywhere. Well, I want specific answer. Because this is science. Oh, Hare Krishna, yeah. Yes.
I read this today, so I thought that may be applicable. Without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, these are the 3 points that I read from Prabhupada.
Okay, yeah, good. Without being sense-control, obedient and disciplined, yeah. Yeah, I can get it, yeah. It's from Bhagavad Gita verse, yeah. That's okay, yeah. Yeah, Prabhupada quotes this. Yeah, that's true. Accept that. But I can argue that. Krishna can argue that. But fine, that's okay. Okay, fine. I'll ask you, is there any verse can you quote? You're right, actually. Is there any verse? I'll just quote here, fine. Just finish this off. Bhagavad Gita 6.30. This summarizes pretty much what I have been saying. I am yours, your minds, how to develop that attitude. Everything is here in this verse. Krishna is genius. We are discussing everything is there. Yamam pashyati sarvatra sarvamai pashyati tasyam na pranashyami sachamena pranashyati. So that is the verse. And Krishna says, I am never lost. So, for a devotee who is fully surrendered to Krishna, who is surrendered to Krishna, who understands why to surrender, and who has that attitude, Krishna is never lost to him. That means he always remembers that I am yours and you are mine. Got my point? He's never lost. Nor he is ever lost to me. So I'll explain that afterward. But Krishna is saying how to come to this point, that for a devotee, Krishna is never lost. Krishna is never lost means a devotee never forgets that I am yours and you are mine. That concept he never forgets. How? Krishna gives a solution. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me. This is a solution he gives. What this means? For one who sees me everywhere. This means for one who sees everything in connection with me. That's the idea. One who sees everything connected to me. One who sees everything under my control. One who sees everything dependent on me. Concepts are coming, same concepts. I am yours, you are mine. One who sees everything is dependent on my grace. Nothing exists without my grace. One who always remember, when he is seeing these objects, he is not lost in objects. He can perceive the invisible hand of Krishna behind these objects. He is trained in that. He is trained in that. When we have that training. So you told discipline. So that means training. This is a training he gets. Okay, so, and who sees everything in me. Who sees everything in me means when everything not only depends on me, everything is not only under my control, but everything is for me. Everything is in me. So just like Ganges flows towards water, ocean, everything flows towards him. Everything is for Krishna. That's the idea. Everything is for his service. And that means if we get trained like that, then we can realize I am yours, you are mine. Otherwise, it's impossible to do that. So, you know what? So there's one very interesting point. So Madhvacharya, he raises one interesting point. He says, you see, so people talk about charity and all this stuff. No, we have to help human, we have to help man, and all these things. But Krishna in this verse is refuting that point. He sees everything in me. He sees me everywhere. So people say, okay, everyone is part and parcel of God. God is in everybody, so we should serve humans. People argue. But Krishna refutes in this verse. He says, one who sees me everywhere, that's okay. Everybody is part and parcel. I am everywhere. But then sees everything in me. By seeing that God is everywhere, and in everyone, he doesn't serve everyone. He serves me. Got my point? So he refutes that argument here in this verse. So we are not to see that, okay, in everyone there is God, I accept. But this doesn't mean you have to serve everyone. You have to serve God who is within everyone. So he is taking that stance. So by one verse, the point I'm telling you is, by one verse, Krishna is telling us many things, no? So by this verse, he argues with atheists. He gives instructions to his devotees. I am yours, you are mine. And also, by this verse, he is informing us what is love. He is informing us the highest conception of love, that is separation and union. So Krishna says, one who sees me everywhere. Now the point, the question is, Krishna can argue with you. Okay, fine. Fine, you are seeing me everywhere. So you are training to see me everywhere? But how do you do that? 24 hours. We'll forget that, no? We generally forget that. We heard so many times that everything is connected to Krishna, everything depends on Krishna. But we forget. We forget even while chanting. Not to speak of doing other things. We chant Hare Krishna, but we forget Krishna. One who sees me everywhere, bhaiya, first see Krishna in his holy name. That's the thing which we are doing. So how to come to this platform? That's another question. How to see Krishna everywhere? So first thing is, fine, Prabhupada says you get trained. Okay, you are training, you are trying to think consciously. But by conscious effort, you will not be able to do 24 hours. It's not possible. You need to do something else to pass that barrier, no? And to go to 24 hours thinking. You got my point? To do that, now we all know, and we can remember for some time, but we are stuck at one platform. We have to go beyond that. How to go beyond that? One who sees me everywhere. Every time, that's the point. That word is not there, but every time he can see me everywhere. Prabhupada can see Krishna everywhere all the time. We can see Krishna everywhere sometime. That's the difference, no? So how to become from sometime to all time? That's a question. That is why I'm talking about attitude. No, we have to ask why again. So how to do that? So Krishna is saying, this can only be possible by separation. By feeling separation from Lord, you will always see Krishna everywhere. This is what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction. Krishna in this verse is giving us higher conceptions also. I'm trying to impress the fact one verse of Gita has so many levels of meanings. That's the point. Just by the way. So one who sees me everywhere is feeling separation. When feel separation from... So it is very simple to understand. So for example, a lover and beloved. So if you separate a beloved from the lover, she will see her beloved everywhere, is it? It's like that, no? Whomever she sees, she will see the face of her beloved, no? Or you separate mother and child, what will happen? She is sitting, what will happen? Every child you will see, oh, this is my child. You can't forget your child, no? Everything you will see, you will connect to your child. You will see one boots, you will think, oh, how my child will be there. He also had so nice boots. So by separation, you can surpass that gap. That is why Mahaprabhu told, love in separation is a need of soul. We have to go to that platform. Prabhupada says, love in separation, we have to achieve to that platform of separation. This is the entire teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But there's no question of separation without attachment. Is it? So we have to become attached to God, understand things, feel separation, and then we will be able to do justice to this world, who sees me everywhere. And who sees everything in me. So when you feel separation from Krishna, you perceive him everywhere, and then you come to temple, you see Krishna face to face, that is union. Separation and union. This is what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. That is also there in this verse. So, and of course, we have 10 more meanings to this verse. I'll not go into that. But I'm going to impress the fact that Gita can never end. If we think we know Gita, it's for sure that you don't know anything. Gita can't end. But the point is, Gita will reveal to those. Gita reveals herself. If we surrender to him, to her actually. To her is a good word, yeah. Gita is not a book for us. It is Krishna himself. But you have to approach with the right attitude.
Previously I thought in the series ever is that phrase.
Yeah.
Previously I thought the phrase
sees everything in me.
Meant I'm the source of everything.
No. Well, sees me everywhere, that means I'm the source of everything.
I see.
Yeah. At least Acharya has explained like that. So it can be. You can say all these things. You can lead to that. But the meaning which I'm giving, that's given by exact meanings by Acharyas. You can connect, no problem. But the exact thing is this. It is in my service. Okay, so that's the technique. It is very important to feel separation. Otherwise, you will never be able to realize Gita. The higher levels, no? So Mahaprabhu says, okay, I have come here to give you love and separation. Then you can feel all these things. So that's the idea of Amita Tomar, Tumi Tomar. Okay. By the way, I'll go to next core concept, but I need to ask some questions because I can't finish this definitely. So the point is, how do you express your surrender to God? No? That's the point. So I can't say to my girlfriend, I love you. Of course, I don't have a girlfriend, but I can't say, I love you. And my attitude is proper, I surrender to you, these are the reasons I surrender to you. But okay, go to McDonald's, eat your burger and call me when you're finished. It makes no sense now. I have to express my love to her by rose or taking to her somewhere, by actions. So what actions should we do to express our attitude? That's the idea. This is the next core concept, Krishna Kam, Krishna Nam and Krishna Dham. We'll talk about it next time. Is there any questions, by the way? Whatever I've asked, any we were discussing. But is there any questions till yet? We have 8 core concepts and I've just finished 1. On Saturday, if you can please come on time, I can start. If you come on time on Saturday, I'll skip. I was just singing bhajans just like that to fill the gap. So we can, probably it's Saturday at 6 o'clock?
No, morning starting 7:30.
Morning? Oh, Saturday it's morning, 8 o'clock. I don't know if people can come 8 o'clock. But anyway, I'll start. So I'll try to finish that, but let's see. Yeah.
Prabhu, you said this attitude is different from thoughts, feelings, right? And obviously it's different from actions. So the mapping was that I know is that the body is to actions, then the mind is to feelings, then thoughts is to intelligence.
Attitude is to soul. Attitude comes from soul. That is why that's the most important thing. Soul is a thing, that's most important. Attitude is a soul. That's a mapping. Cheshta, sankalp, that lies with the soul. Okay, so any other questions? Oh, what about demigods? Like, you don't ask anything? Oh, did you understand everything? It was not that. It's okay, but it takes time to get it. I've just started because when I'll finish all the things, you'll be super confused. I'm absolutely sure. Not confused, but it needs to think. You need to think again and again all these points. Okay, so if there's no questions, I'll just ask you quiz on that and then finish and then discuss later. Okay, what do you mean by Krishna Kam? Anybody can tell? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Kam means activity. Doing something for Krishna, Krishna. But always used to say, do something for God. Krishna Nam means, of course, chanting holy names. And Krishna Dham means holy place, or better than that, association of devotees. Because association is holy place. Now the point is that this quotation is given by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to us in his Gaudiya magazines. He has given this, Krishna Kam, Krishna Nam, Krishna Dham. Actually whenever he was in Vrindavan, he used to say Krishna Kam, Krishna Nam, Krishna Dham. Whenever he was in Mayapur, he used to say Gaur Kam, Gaur Nam, Gaur Dham. So he used to switch Krishna with Gaur. But the idea is same thing. Idea is that how do you express your attitude to Krishna, surrender? By doing something for him, by chanting holy names, and by associating with devotees. That's pretty much we understand. But now the question begins. Question is, what do you mean by Krishna Kam? That's the question. Should I deal this now? Yeah, we have time. Okay, what do you mean by Krishna Kam? Can anybody tell us? What do you mean by doing something for Krishna? What do you mean by that? Do something. Prabhupada always used to say, no? Do something for God. What do you mean by that? That should be pretty simple, no? Huh? Yeah. No, do something. Okay, fine. You distribute books, preach, deity worship, Prabhupada used to say. But the point here is, Prabhupada always used to qualify this. Do something for Krishna means with results. That was Prabhupada always used to qualify. There has to be some results. No? Work done means results. That's physics, no? So that we have to chalk out, what we are doing, whether we are getting desired results or not. Because sometimes we can keep on doing in ISKCON, but there are no results. That also happens, no? It happens many times. We keep on doing with no effective results. And we still keep on doing. That's not wise enough. So, just like we have Apple, this is a company. Prabhupada said, this is like a company. Krishna is a boss. So he used to say to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, okay, what results you have got? He said, no. So there's a company and we have to run this company, and this company, there has to be results. Otherwise, of course, many times we put efforts, there are no results, that's okay. But at least you have to think about results, no? You have to think about that. So that's Krishna Kam. But the point here is, what I'm trying to say is, Krishna Kam doesn't mean only actions at the level of body. Krishna Kams also means actions at the level of mind, intelligence and soul. Don't forget that. Because generally we think Krishna Kam means actions, and we think actions at the level of body. So Prabhupada says do something. So when I joined ISKCON, when I has to read some books, and when I has to, Hare Krishna, this. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, so when I joined ISKCON, then people used to say, do something for Krishna. Whenever I used to read and chant, devotees used to say, do something for, why are you sitting and reading? Go out, preach, do that, do this, do that. That's okay, I understand that. But the point is, if you're 24 hours doing something on bodily platform, and if you're not doing something on the mental and intellectual and soul platform, you become dead from inside and live from outside. And then you become a zombie. That's a zombie, practically. And there are many zombies, I bet you there are. And lest we become zombies, we have to take care of that, no? When Prabhupada says do something, do it on all levels. Not just on bodily level. We have to be active, super active at a bodily level. We have to preach with full enthusiasm, do book distribution full enthusiasm, deity worship with full enthusiasm. At the same time, we have to work on mind, intellect and soul with full enthusiasm. So, at the level of body, Krishna consciousness means activity. Prabhupada says. All types of activity, dynamic activity. At the level of mind, Krishna consciousness means to purify the desire. You have to track what's happening in your mind. You have to purify desires. At the level of intellect, Krishna consciousness means self-abnegation. Self-abnegation, self-abnegation means, the power to say no to sensual attractions. At the level of intellect, you have to act like that. At the level of soul, Krishna consciousness means understanding the truth of Krishna. Do all these things. Don't delete one chapter. And Prabhupada says all these things. And if we just read Krishna consciousness means activity, we don't read other statements of Prabhupada, we miss the point, no? That is why it's very important to read all books of Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, so I'll quote that quotation. Prabhupada says, read all my books, because if you read some book and some don't, you'll get confused. So if you read this book, Path of Perfection, you will see Krishna consciousness activity. Okay, do something. You'll be running around here and there. That's good. But then if you don't read Prabhupada's conversations or lectures, if you don't hear that, then you miss the point. If you don't read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you miss the point. So you have to read all those things. Half knowledge is very, very dangerous. We heard that. That's a wisdom. And that's very important. And Prabhupada also said, I think one of the Prabhupada disciples, she was saying, she was Mataji, she said, Prabhupada said to her, every of my devotee should also read my conversations, because everything is not there in my books. Prabhupada also said that. What do you do with that statement? Everything is in Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada says, everything I have not stated in my books, because many things I am stating in conversations also. So of course now we have books of conversations also. So in that way we can say everything is there in Prabhupada's books. So it makes sense, but then you have to read everything. So Krishna Kam means all these things. Don't forget all these things, all these activities. And then, anyway. So by the way, see, Prabhupada defines Krishna consciousness so many ways. You see this? Prabhupada says so many things at so many places. And everything is Krishna consciousness, but at different levels, at different platforms. Okay, this is called wisdom. Okay, it's going to be 8 o'clock. Krishna Nam means chanting of holy names. So chanting of holy names, you have to chant holy names, but when you chant holy names, remember 3 things. Always remember 3 things. And those 3 things are, should we discuss now or next time? These 3 things. Or we should leave for a suspense to next time. Because there are some things I want to talk in Krishna Nam. Okay, let's leave it for next time, Krishna Nam and Krishna Dham. I want to announce something. And I'll tell you next time how to chant holy names. Many things we assume while chanting. And that's why many times we chant, and then we can't. No, that happens, no. We can't chant properly. Our mind does not settle on holy name, because we miss some crucial points which Prabhupada is mentioning. Actually, genius of... See, when you read Prabhupada books, you have to be a little careful, because Prabhupada mentions some things. In all his books, there will be just one statement. And that statement Prabhupada will not repeat. And that statement will be the crucial statement for advancing Krishna consciousness. And I'll show you in the next slide how Prabhupada is speaking two statements that's not repeated anywhere, and that will form the basis of chanting. If we miss that, we can't chant properly. So I'll come to that point next time about Krishna Nam. We'll hear that next time. And I'll just announce some things. And whatever I've been talking about, that's there. Oh, where is English CD? Oh yeah, thank you. So whatever I'm speaking here is, just hold this, I don't want to show this place. So this is there in this CD, Core Concepts of Devotional Service. This is what lecture I'm giving, Core Concepts of Devotional Service. I'm definite I'll not be able to finish this seminar on Saturday, it's for sure, but you can hear that. But this CD you can take, and I've explained in more details in this CD. All 8 core concepts, you can hear that. You can have this CD. This CD is also there in Hindi. Name is 𝗙𝗲𝗶𝗹𝗶. It's funny name, but why I just kept this. Because in India, when I used to present this in Hindi, so people used to say, in Bihar, the 𝗙𝗲𝗶𝗹, bhai, ye kya hai? I said, okay, this is a good name, I kept this. So anyway, just like that. And there are a few more Hindi CDs, you can just have a look. Bhagavad Gita, 𝗙𝗲𝗹, this one CD, 𝗙𝗲𝗹. Just a few names in Hindi. And this is a book where all these concepts I have written, the mighty efforts. We have to put efforts in devotional service of Lord. Krishna has done his game. Now it's in our hands. We have to end that game. He begins the game. We have to end that. No. So for that we need to put effort. That is mighty efforts. All these concepts are there in this book. You can read this book. And okay, thank you. And this is crazy ideas for crazy people. Crazy people means many crazy arguments. Many people give so many arguments. No, in preaching, this is for preachers basically. We'll face many arguments from our relatives, from people, like for example, man is God, serve humanity, all these things. And then everything happens for good, everything is happening for good. Why do you chant on beats, why not in mind? So many things. Yoga. So all these misconceptions, what I've been preaching since last 20 years, I've compiled in this and given anti-arguments from scriptures, from Bhagavad Gita, from our literatures, and from all other scriptures and Western philosophy, Indian philosophy, everything is there. And then we have this, Prabhupada said this society of cheaters and the cheated. Prabhupada said often in his purports. Society for cheaters and the cheated. I have quotation here. Morning Walk, May 8, 1973. Prabhupada says, the modern world is a society of the cheaters and the cheated. Unfortunately, cheated are eulogizing the cheaters, and the small cheaters are worshipping the great cheaters. So the point is, when I read this, I was thinking, Prabhupada said this, but we have to show to the world how Prabhupada is correct. So this book I have written in service of Prabhupada, I have shown how philosophers, linguists, historians, corporate, media, scientists, artists, everybody is cheating us. Everybody. And we also are cheating ourselves. So that's what is going behind the scenes, how they are cheating us from practical angle, modern angle and everything. Yeah, I've shown with of course evidence. I don't talk without evidence. This is some Hindi book. There are 2 Hindi books you can have. This is summary of Gita, misconceptions in Gita, 𝗙𝗲𝗪 𝗪𝗲, and all with evidence I have countered the misconception. And this Guru kaun? Guru ka bahut problem hai nahi? Dhongi Guru aur ye sab. So who is Guru? Who is disciple? Who is perfect disciple? Who is crazy disciple? Who is a crazy Guru? All these things I have talked here with evidence from scriptures. You can have these books. We have on that counter. And thank you very much for listening me and of course tolerating me. That's one thing. Hare Krishna. Thank you. We'll meet. Hare Krishna. So we will meet on Saturday. At what time? 8 o'clock?
7:30 starts. We do from Brahma Samhita, and then the class starts at 8 o'clock.
Okay, fine. 8 o'clock, 7:30 Brahma Samhita. 8 o'clock we'll start the class on Saturday morning. Same place, same time. Thank you very much.
His Grace Keshav Anand Prabhu ki
Hare Krishna.
Jai.